Hello there. All right, so getting elected as the treasurer was a pretty straightforward process. You would be surprised how many people want to have you be the treasurer when you simply say that you're going to do your job for real and get it done. One complaint about the previous treasurer, Thuy Nguyen, was that she functioned as a rubber stamp and wasn't really doing any kind of review. Now, that's an unfair characterization of Thuy because, like a good auditor, I interviewed previous treasurers, okay? So I gave a speech basically saying I was going to dig deep and ensure that internal controls were in place, ensure that our money was not being mishandled. And there was even a treasurer, not a treasurer, there was even an accountant in the audience when I talked about the importance of independence and segregation of duties that shouted, "Hear, hear!" Like it was hilarious because we're nerds, right? So that was totally a thing that another accountant would do. Anyway, so I get elected. I'm blown away because it's kind of, many people make the assumption that, oh, hey, yeah, the election system is rigged. And yeah, who could be, it very well could be. It could be that they wanted to bring me in to set me up for something. Who knows? There's nothing beyond these political operators. I'm not going to say that was something that they did, but it's odd that I got elected when so many people were complaining, saying that the election results are usually fairly rigged, and that's neither here nor there. I didn't audit election results. I don't care about that. I'm just telling you that this is a common complaint among the union members. Now, as the treasurer, I interviewed both past treasurers Mary Stewart and past treasurers Thuy Nguyen. Now, Mary Stewart has very negative things to say about the union. She tells me, you got to watch out. She had to comb over the books, mind you, with the CFO over her shoulder, which was like a rent-a-CFO at the time, was never given adequate license to do the examinations on her own, by the way, which is completely in violation of the bylaws. Go figure. They did this to Thuy as well, I imagine. And she believed that there were irregularities. Not Thuy, Mary Stewart, possibly. Especially with the building account. Financial accounts have to do with the building and things like that. So I'm like, oh, okay, that'll be interesting to look into, and then when I'm speaking with Thuy, she told me of another kind of risk factor where she got so buried with so many things she couldn't really perform her duties. She even said there's only so many hours in the day and I got to get a lot of payroll done at work, and then I have other things in my life, and I really wasn't able to do all the things I wanted to do. They just completely overloaded me with things, which is another major risk vector. When you are a financial steward, if the other departments are giving you so many other kind of things to do or work on that you can't really do your examinations with any substance, or at least to the level that your professionalism would dictate, that's a risk vector. You got to deal with that. So I'm very aware of that kind of manipulation, thanks to Thuy. Now, I begin my tenure as the treasurer, telling people, hey, you can reach out to me directly, talk to me, all these things. I'm an independent operator. I'm not in line with, oh gosh, what's his name? Johnny. Gosh, I can't even remember. See, I'm going up on Johnny's last name here. That's hilarious because that's how much I don't want to think about these people because it's just galling. But Johnny, the president, and everything, I'm telling people I'm not a part of his administration directly, I'm not here to cause a huge wedge either, but I'm an independent operator because that's why I was elected. Now, we have this meeting at Chalison Lodge, okay? And mind you, just to jump back to the election process, the hilarious thing there, I was told, treasurers won't be giving speeches. So I was like, oh, okay, so I didn't wear my suit and I didn't really have a speech prepared because I was told that. Turns out, no, they were giving speeches. Lucky for me, I sat. Oh, and also the other people were passing out campaign paraphernalia in violation of the bylaws as well. So your dues at work, workers. But since I'm amazing, and in general, no, I'm just kidding. I actually did a good speech right there, improvised, and it was well enough to get elected. So, bravo me. Anyway, fast back forward to being the treasurer. We're at Salishan Lodge, and Melissa Unger comes up and just lays into me, in like a private setting, and just starts like shouting and literally puts her face like right up to me, bellies up to me. I'm just like, what the heck? And tries to intimidate me. And I'm like, I've had to contend with like a knife wielding attacker in a park once and things like that. I've been in way too many fights back in the day in rural Southern Oregon and situations like that. And I've also performed in opera and theater and things like that too, in a different career track that I had, and had to face fairly unseemly people every now and then in that situation. So I was not intimidated by Melissa Unger and her weird behavior towards me. But one thing that did strike me very, very odd was I had simply reached out to the Department of Labor to inquire about some of my treasurer duties, to inquire about the culpability of if I sign an LM2, the culpability there, because the union was telling me that I'm directly responsible and that things will come down on me directly if I don't sign this LM2. Rush, rush, rush. No review, no review. Deny you the general ledger. Oh yeah, we'll get to that. So this is just part one of the union treasurer experience. So let's just begin with this. She essentially freaked out. Said, you talked to the Department of Labor? As if like I had spoken with an enemy, not a regulatory body that ensures that we're supposed to be following the law. That was the biggest red flag I'd ever received in my life from someone who's supposed to be the executive director of the union. So, more to come.